So guys, something very sad happened. A friend of mine called me this morning to tell me that the Jugendamt, I don't know, I think it's called the Child Welfare Service, that they took away her son. So this is something really sad, and since then I've been thinking about it. Dora asked her what the reason for this act was, and she also didn't know. She wasn't able to give any specific answer. She just said that she doesn't know why they took her child, that they just came to her house and they just took the boy just like that. I would like to talk about the Jugendamt today, and to look into the reasons why this office usually takes children away from the family. So the Jugendamt, one of the responsibilities of the Jugendamt is to protect the welfare and the best interest of children. If the Jugendamt finds out that there's a child endangerment in a home, that is what they call the Kindeswohlgefährdung in German, they are obligated to act if they find out that a child is physically, emotionally abused. They are obligated to act on this. Physical abuse, like lack of medical care, lack of personal hygiene, lack of food, the children not getting food at home, exposure to substance and domestic violence. So these are the main reasons why the Jugendamt would usually act. So the other reason is severe and constant conflict in the family. So if the parents are involved in constant and unresolved conflicts, like child custody battles, or quarreling all the time, the Jugendamt might see this as something which affects the well-being of the child in that family, and this is another thing that causes them to act. Another reason is neglect and lack of caregiving. So parents who struggle to meet basic caregiving responsibilities due to use of substance, mental health issues like depression, not the light depression, but the severe ones. The Jugendamt might see this as something which puts the child in danger in that family, and this is another thing that might warrant them to take that child out of that family. Another uncommon reason why the Jugendamt can actually take a child from a family is what they call the parental alienation. So this is very popular, but most people do not think that this could be a reason of a child being withdrawn from a family. This is a case where a parent, after divorce or separation of two parents, one parent will likely try to turn the child against the other parents by doing things or trying to spoil the child's mind by telling them the other parent is a bad person, the parents doesn't love you, by trying to turn that child away from the parents. So this could also be a reason why the Jugendamt might decide to take that child away from the family in order to protect this child's emotional well-being. So another reason why the Jugendamt might decide to take a child away from the family is due to child's behavioral issues. So if a child is violent and the parents are not doing anything to help the situation, that child might likely be withdrawn from the family, because they will feel that this parents needs help, and they might likely want to get the help for that child themselves. So one of the other reasons why the Jugendamt might decide to act is due to educational neglect. So if your child constantly misses school, the teachers or the school itself might report this issue to the Jugendamt, and they might see this as a child neglect, and they are prone to act towards this because education is one of the basic requirements of every child here in Germany. Another reason is due to health concerns. So if a child is refused medical attention in life-threatening issues, the Jugendamt is prone to act in such situations. Because I've heard of a situation whereby a parent refused for an operation to be conducted on their child because their religion forbid this. So that child died in this process. So another reason is due to cultural or religious practices like early marriage and forceful circumcision of the female child. This is something that is usually frowned at here in Germany. So in this case, the Jugendamt would likely take the child away from the family. The other reason why the Jugendamt might decide to withdraw a child out of the family is due to the reports from third parties. For example, the neighbors, the schools, the police. If the Jugendamt get the information through the sources, the child is likely to be withdrawn away from the family as soon as possible. So the last reason, which is usually not common, is voluntary placement. So parents who feel that they are overwhelmed or they need temporarily assistance, they are likely to go to the Jugendamt and say, oh, I would like to give my child away temporarily because I can see that I can cope with the child currently due to what I'm going through at the moment. So if a parent goes to the Jugendamt themselves, the Jugendamt is likely to act by taking that child into their care. In this situation, after the parents has gotten the help which they feel they need, they might go back to the Jugendamt and say, oh, I'm fit again and I would like to get my child back. So the Jugendamt is likely to get that child out of the family where they are kept and give it back to the parents after conducting their inspection. So guys, a child is not just taken away from the family like that. There are processes which the Jugendamt is bound to follow before coming to a conclusion. So the first thing that happens is an initial report is given about the child. For example, the schools, the kindergarten, the doctors, they might report their concern about the behavior, the welfare, the well-being of a child. Then the youth welfare service would carry on with their investigation through interviews, interrogation, observations. So they might visit the home where the child lives, go to the school or the kindergarten to ask this child questions. They might also invite the parents for a meeting and ask different questions about the well-being, the welfare of this child. So after this process, they would go through the next process, which is rendering help in cases where it's detected that the parents actually need help. They might render therapy, financial aid, different kind of helps which they might deem fit at the moment. So in a case where a child is in immediate danger, the Jugendamt might likely remove the child from the family immediately by skipping all previous processes which I mentioned earlier on. And yeah, most removal of children from their families, most of them are usually done temporarily. Only the court can issue for a long-term removal, and families can challenge this decision in family courts. Most times when a child is removed from a family, there are different perspectives which come up. The parents might say they do not know the actual reason why the child were taken, and the Jugendamt is usually seen as something very dangerous here in Germany. So one of the misconception a lot of people have is that the Jugendamt is dangerous. This is not always the case. If, like I said earlier on, the Jugendamt work towards the best interest and welfare of children. If you know that your child is not in any danger being in your family, there is no how the Jugendamt can just take away your child like that. And most people would likely say, "Oh, I didn't do anything. The Jugendamt just the youth welfare service just took away my child like that. I went to the kindergarten or to school to pick my child, and I couldn't find my child anymore. They just took my child away." This is not like always the case. Most times there are several warnings which are given to the parents, the mothers, the fathers, to tell them like, see, this is what we have observed about your child. Please try to do this, try to change this. And most times these families wouldn't work towards the best interest of their own child, or if help is given to you and you obviously reject the help given by the Jugendamt, for example, parental help could be in form of what they call the family IFA. The family IFA is like sending someone to you to assist you in your parental duties. Maybe you are stressed up due to work, or you're having some mental health issues. This family help, you can ask of that from the Jugendamt. If you're eligible for this, most parents are actually eligible if you actually need the help to overcome your day-to-day duties as a parent. Jugendamt can actually pay for you to get this help. So this help are actually given to some parents, and they usually tone it down because they think this could be a way of the Jugendamt trying to spy into the family. I would say that this is not usually the case. So you rejecting this help would come across as you having a hidden agenda, which would warrant the Jugendamt to act in a way which they wouldn't have. So this is it. Another misconception is that the Jugendamt takes away just the children of the immigrants. I would say this is kind of true in comparison to the German kids, which are usually taken away from the family. This is, I would say this is true because, and there is a reason for this actually. The reason is that if you're a German or you've lived here in Germany for a very long time, there's a high tendency that you've already understood the system and how it works and the family life over here. But if it's someone that just came here a few years ago, you might be having difficulties as to what you're allowed to do with your child or what is forbidden here, because you might be thinking that it's the same way you raise up your child in your country. It's still the same thing here in Germany, which is actually not the same. So you likely fall into this situation of the Jugendamt taking away your child due to ignorance. I would say due to ignorance, and this is it's because of this ignorance that the Jugendamt take more of the Jugendamt take more of the immigrant children in comparison to the Germans. So this removal is usually temporarily with the goal of trying to reunite these children with their parents. Because during my vocational training, my Ausbildung, I did an internship, a practicum in what they call the Jugendheim with children from 9 to 18 years old. That is a home where they keep kids which they have taken away from their parents. So I did the practicum there, and I saw a lot of kids with different stories. Most of the stories being due to physical abuse and sexual abuse as well. But most of these children still visit their families with escorts. Like someone would likely go with them somewhere to meet their parents parents, or in some certain situations, the children can actually spend the weekend with the parents, though they're not allowed to live there anymore, but they might be able to spend the weekend there. So this is a step which the Jugendamt will usually take to see if it is the right time to reunite the child with the parents, by observing if the reason of taking that child out of the family is no longer present. So if this is it, they would likely return the child back to the parents, but while observing the family where the child was taken away from, and they can see that nothing has changed there, so this child will likely remain at the place where the Jugendamt has kept them until they notice a difference in the family setting. So guys, this is the reason why Jugendamt takes away children from the families. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, or most times it's not something that is done within a twinkle of an eye. These things are usually the Jugendamt usually comes to a conclusion after many observations, interrogation, and reports from third parties. So if you're willing to work with them, and if they notice that your situation has changed after during the time of taking that child away from the family, the children are likely to be returned back to their families. So guys, this would be all today about the topic of the Jugendamt, the child welfare service. If you like this video, please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. And I will see you in my next video, and I look forward to see you in my next video, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.